What if my phone rang every time a body dropped for the minerals it took to create it? Would I still want to answer it?
Pan-African lifestyle.
Welcome to Pan-African Lifestyle, where we rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share, if you're a pal. That's a Pan-African Lifestyler.
The obsession. They must have tapped into our primal instincts. Excitement always surrounds a new thing. Laptops, iPads, tablets, consoles. Racing with the rate at which they release the latest device, new features. The flexing of technology's muscles, I feel it. Because my phone is now part of me. Yet it is out of date in 6 months. But I wonder, what's the cost of a notification? Is it the embarrassing moments when I forget to turn it off before it goes off in a meeting at work? My mind's gone berserk, cause ringtones set the wrong tones at an interview. Again at the cinema, suspended suspense at the theatre, decided my fate, interrupting a kiss with my date. Or do I find the cost of a phone call during times when I'm hungry because my phone bill got fat off eating my greens? But really, what if my phone rang every time a body dropped for the minerals it took to create it? Would I still want to answer it? I've been caught red-handed, wondering how blood got on my hands. Answers found in a paper trail. Who would have thought? My £30 a month bill contributed to a profits over people policy, income margins, marginalising the rising death tolls, corporations whose cash flows rolls from streaming reservoirs blooded by bodies of our people. But what news have we had? Whispers of mass rape have been heard, but never the reasons why. So I ask, what is the cost of a phone call when the network don't map out how we're connected? The signal's strong when you see the link. Guns are phones child soldiers use to make death calls. 6 million people. Over 6 million people. Over 6 million people dead. Can someone please remind the UN they promised never to let the crimes of the Holocaust ever happen again? Can someone please remind the UN they promised never to let the crimes of the Holocaust, Palestine, again? Yeah, it's the twisted fate of the Black Fist. I marvel at the dreams of a Black Panther, the potential of a free African nation's greatness confined to the fictions of a comic book strip. Check it out. They call that country Wakanda. Though the truth gives Stan Lee's characters, but beyond storms, clouds, off the page, you could see things could have been so different. July 2nd, 1925 marked the birth of a real superhero, the embodiment of the high heights of the Kingdom of Congo he possessed, the magnificence of his ancestors, so I wouldn't be surprised if his anatomy was made up of the mathematically marked bones called the Ishango. He even inspired Che Guevara, the one recognized by Malcolm X as the greatest Black man that ever walked the African continent. His name? Patrice Lumumba. Who? You may not have heard of him. He was the Democratic Republic of Congo's first elected prime minister, the people's leader, another Black messiah they feared. Why? A man on a divine mission fears nothing but failure. He believes not even death can stop him, so he proceeds, making every effort to succeed. His intent evident from his speech in 1958 in Accra, Ghana at the Kwame Nkrumah-sponsored Pan-African Conference, where he declared his vision to free Congo from the shackles of colonialism and all its consequences. Because when you know your greatness, when you know that every human being is born in the accordance of the UN's Universal Declaration of the Rights of Man, that every man, woman and child has the right to freedom, justice, social peace, tolerance and well-being, then you know that every nation has the right to self-determination. This is when you cannot be controlled. This is when you are truly free. June 30th, 1960. A date so significant marks Congo's independence. But what is independence in a country situated at the centre of the earth, DRC, throne of the ether, Garden of Eden, with the hydroelectric potential to power the entire continent alone, with vast solar energy capacity untapped, with an abundance of a diverse range of minerals including silver, gold, diamonds and cassiterite, which is the most traded metal on the London Metal Exchange. Basically, naturally, the richest country on the face of the planet. It has been said, whoever runs Congo runs the world. They never intended to let Africa go. Placed in a position of power, puppets cast shadows of vampires because puppet masters can't stand the light. The colonial masters knew their power increases unseen. In the dark, bloodsuckers feast on fertile lands, fleshed with minerals. They get filthy rich from bathing in dirty money, stealing resources that was never theirs to take, a relationship Belgium expected to continue as the demonic ghost of Leopold II smiled, his evil legacy adulated arrogantly by King Baudouin. The insults are accepted when a perception of power is enough to satisfy those used to being 2/3 human beings. But his heart, beating sounds of a lion's roar. Up stepped Prime Minister Lumumba with the kind of gangster that makes Tony Montana sit down and shut up. The world witnessed a star soar, a sight of wonder. His independence speech was sent from the heavens, a blazing ball of fire lit from the fingertips of Kimpavita, stipulating that Africans suffered and fought. Africans suffered and fought. Africans suffer and fight, blood, sweat and tears shed for the right to run our own country, our own continent. Words that caused the walled towers of Babylon to tremble. His very being threatened to crumble the existence of the power structures. That's why they feared him. Each and every sentence, the calm tires stokes an electric atmosphere. The kind of static that porcupines the hair on your back of your neck. The impulse in those chained in observation to break free into a standing ovation. This is the incredible influence of one born to lead. Eyes of the world watching. The terrified shadow men flocked to the think tank table. They had to act fast. 40 years later, the truth, apparently born, hidden in the film, the identity of those involved. The CIA, MI6, Daphne Park admitted they plotted, possibly the most important assassination in the 20th century, with the Belgians and the Belgian-backed Dushanbe to use UN soldiers and make Judas out of Mobutu. Why? Because there's always one prepared to sacrifice an entire population for his own interest. No coincidence. The West dictated for over 30 years, compared to Lumumba's mere 10 weeks. Murdered in front of a firing squad, it wasn't enough. Orders for the Belgian soldiers to take it one step further, to eliminate Lumumba as a martyr. Beings capable of such shocking evil cannot be called human. Hollow shells open up the depths of hell. The demons savagely hacked Lumumba's body into pieces like they did with Africa in the 1880s, and then dissolved his remains into acid. The reason why is clear. Resources. The reasons why is clear. Human resources. The reason why is clear. Power. But we are still here. And for every one of our revolutionaries, our martyrs, for our ancestors, we inhale their energy, their breath, their legacy, and we stride towards the day that Africa rises again. Africa will rise again. Africa will rise again.
Thanks for tuning in to Pan-African Lifestyle. Share your thoughts in the comments section and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pan-African Lifestyle to be inspired. For awesome pal merch, check out panafricanlifestyle.com/shop. Keep repping the motherland.
Pan-African lifestyle.